Most people think the Navy SEALs are the most elite military unit in the world. They're wrong. There are units so secretive, so deeply buried inside the U.S. military, that the government won't even officially confirm they exist. Units that don't wear name tags. Units that don't talk to journalists. Units that, if captured, the U.S. government will publicly deny any knowledge of. Today, we're breaking down every single U.S. Special Operations Force, what they actually do, how brutally hard it is to get in, and, most importantly, which ones are truly the most elite. From the household names, Delta Force, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, all the way down to the classified units that most Americans have never heard of. Stay until the end because the last unit on this list will genuinely change how you think about the U.S. military. What is SOCOM? Before we get into the units, you need to understand one thing: U.S. Special Operations Command, or SOCOM. SOCOM is the 4-star command that sits on top of every special operations unit in the entire U.S. military. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They all answer to it. It was created in 1987 after a string of catastrophic special ops failures, most notably the disastrous 1980 attempt to rescue American hostages in Iran, Operation Eagle Claw, which ended with 8 dead soldiers in a helicopter collision in the desert. Congress decided America's Special Operations Forces needed centralized command, so SOCOM was born. Today, SOCOM has over 70,000 personnel, an annual budget of around $13 billion, and operates in roughly 80 countries simultaneously, every single day. Now, inside SOCOM, units are organized by what's called a tier system, Tier 1 at the top. These are the most elite, most classified, most capable units. They handle the most sensitive national-level missions. Think hostage rescue, killing high-value targets, sabotage behind enemy lines. Below that, Tier 2, still elite, but more conventional. And Tier 3, the supporting forces. Let's go through all of them. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. Tier 2, Army Special Forces. Most people call them the Green Berets, named after their distinctive headgear, which was actually banned by the Army until President Kennedy personally authorized it in 1961. Here's what most people get wrong about Green Berets. They are not primarily a raiding force. They are not in the business of kicking down doors. That's not their core mission. Green Berets specialize in 2 things: unconventional warfare, training, organizing, and leading indigenous forces in enemy territory, and foreign internal defense, helping allied governments fight insurgencies. In simple terms, a 12-man Green Beret team can walk into a hostile country, link up with local fighters, train them into an effective military force, and conduct a guerrilla campaign against an enemy, all without a single large conventional unit ever setting foot on the ground. Each team, called an ODA or Operational Detachment Alpha, has 12 men, each cross-trained in 2 specialties: weapons, engineering, medical, communications, or operations. Every single Green Beret speaks at least 1 foreign language. Some speak 3 or 4. Getting in is not easy. First, you need to be an Army sergeant or officer. Then you attend SFAS, the Special Forces Assessment and Selection, a brutal 24-day evaluation in the mountains of North Carolina designed to push candidates to their absolute limit. Roughly 60% of candidates don't make it. Those who pass then go through the Q course, the Special Forces Qualification Course, which can last up to 2 years depending on your specialty. There are 6 active Special Forces groups, each assigned to a specific geographic region. First group covers the Pacific, third group covers Africa, fifth group covers the Middle East, seventh group covers Latin America, 10th group covers Europe. They are, without question, the most sophisticated unconventional warfare force on the planet. Navy SEALs and DEVGRU, Tier 2, and, officially, Tier 1 for their top unit. Navy SEALs, Sea, Air, and Land Teams, the most famous special operations force in the world. And to be fair, there's a reason for that. BUD/S, Basic Underwater Demolition, SEAL Training, which is arguably the most famous military selection course on Earth. 6 months. Hell Week is the centerpiece. 5.5 days of continuous training with almost no sleep. Roughly 75 to 80% of candidates ring the bell and quit. That bell has become an icon. SEALs operate across all environments: sea, air, land, conducting direct action raids, special reconnaissance, hostage rescue, and underwater demolition. But here's the thing. The vanilla SEAL teams, teams 1 through 10, are Tier 2. They are elite, they are exceptional, but they are not the most elite force America has. That distinction goes to DEVGRU, the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, officially called SEAL Team 6, though that designation was retired decades ago. DEVGRU operates at Tier 1. They are the Navy's answer to Delta Force, hostage rescue, counterterrorism, the highest value targets on the planet. You know them best from one mission, Operation Neptune Spear, the 2011 raid in Abbottabad, Pakistan, that ended Osama bin Laden's life. Getting into DEVGRU first requires becoming a SEAL, which already eliminates 80% of candidates. Then you must serve for years at a SEAL team before you can even try out for DEVGRU. And that selection, even harder than BUD/S. Delta Force, first SFOD-D. Tier 1, the most classified unit in the United States Army. Officially, Delta Force does not exist. The U.S. government has never officially confirmed its existence. Its official designation is 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. You'll hear it called the Unit, the Activity, CAG, Combat Applications Group, or simply Delta. Founded in 1977 by Colonel Charles Beckwith, who modeled it directly after the British SAS, Delta Force is America's primary counterterrorism and hostage rescue unit. When the most dangerous, most sensitive mission in the world needs to be executed, Delta gets the call. We know they were in Mogadishu in 1993, the Battle of Black Hawk Down. We know they hunted Saddam Hussein. We know they've been operational in every major conflict zone for the past 40 years. But the details? Classified. Selection for Delta makes BUD/S look structured. There is no fixed pass rate. The cadre simply selects who they want, regardless of how many candidates show up. Some classes graduate 10 people, some graduate 2, some graduate none. The selection course involves land navigation across the West Virginia mountains, carrying increasingly heavy loads, over increasingly long distances, in increasingly short time frames, with no explanation of what the standard is. You simply do it, or you don't. Delta operators are given extraordinary autonomy. They carry no rank insignia. They wear civilian clothes. They drive unmarked vehicles. And they operate with a level of independence unlike anything else in the U.S. military. 75th Ranger Regiment, Tier 2. But don't let that fool you. The 75th Ranger Regiment is the most elite light infantry unit in the world. They are not conventional soldiers who happen to be good at fighting. They are precision raid specialists, a unit capable of conducting rapid, violent, direct action missions anywhere on the planet with little to no notice. Think of Delta Force as the scalpel, small, precise, surgical. Rangers are the hammer. When you need to seize an airfield, hit a compound at scale, or conduct a large-scale direct action raid, you send Rangers. Getting in requires passing RASP, the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. 2 brutal phases. Phase 1 is 8 days, physically one of the hardest weeks in the military. Phase 2 covers Ranger skills and standards. Washout rates exceed 50%. And here's something you might not know. The Ranger Regiment is the single most common feeder unit into Delta Force. The majority of Delta operators spent time as Rangers first. It is, in many ways, the proving ground for the very best operators America has. 160 SOAR, Pararescue, CCTs, and MARSOC. Let's cover the supporting elite units, because these are often overlooked, and they absolutely should not be. First, the 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, known as the Night Stalkers. These are the helicopter pilots who fly Delta Force and DEVGRU on their most sensitive missions. They flew the helicopters into Abbottabad in 2011. They are, by virtually every measure, the most capable Special Operations Aviation unit on Earth. Their motto, Night Stalkers Don't Quit. Next, Air Force Pararescue Men, PJs. These are the most highly trained combat rescue personnel in the world. Their job is to go into active combat, under fire, to recover wounded or downed personnel and provide advanced medical care. To become a PJ, you complete a pipeline of training that takes roughly 2 years, covering everything from combat diving to freefall parachuting to paramedic certification. Their motto, that others may live. Combat controllers, CCTs, also Air Force. These operators embed with Special Forces teams and call in airstrikes, coordinating close air support under fire with extraordinary precision. They are the link between boots on the ground and the fighter jets above. And MARSOC, Marine Raiders, the Marine Corps' Special Operations contribution to SOCOM. Established in 2006, Marine Raiders conduct direct action, special reconnaissance, and foreign internal defense missions. Tier 2. Deeply capable, often underestimated. The units nobody talks about. ISA, the Intelligence Support Activity, also known as the Activity or Task Force Orange. This unit was created after the Iran hostage failure revealed a catastrophic gap in special operations intelligence. ISA's job is to conduct clandestine intelligence gathering, HUMINT, SIGINT, reconnaissance, in preparation for Delta Force or DEVGRU operations. In simple terms, ISA goes in first, invisible, builds the intelligence picture, then Delta or DEVGRU execute the mission with perfect information. ISA is so classified that for years, even most Special Forces personnel had no idea it existed. Then there's the CIA's Special Activities Center, specifically its ground branch. These are former special operators, often ex-Delta, ex-DEVGRU, who conduct paramilitary operations for the CIA. They operate completely outside the military chain of command. No uniforms, no official government acknowledgement. Some of the most dangerous missions in recent history, in places the U.S. military was never officially present, were conducted by ground branch. And there are others, units whose names aren't public, units whose budgets are buried inside classified annexes that most members of Congress will never see. America's Special Operations enterprise is far deeper and far more complex than most people realize. Which unit is actually the most elite? Here's the honest answer. That's the wrong question. Each unit exists to do something specific. Delta Force and DEVGRU are not better than Green Berets. They simply have different missions. A Green Beret ODA is more useful than Delta Force when you need to train 300 local fighters in a foreign country over 6 months. Delta is more useful when you need to execute a flawless hostage rescue in 45 seconds. But if forced to rank by sheer lethality, capability, and the difficulty of selection, Tier 1 sits at the top. Delta Force and DEVGRU are functionally equivalent at that level, the Army's and Navy's respective best. Below that, Tier 2, Green Berets, SEAL Teams, Rangers, MARSOC, 161st SOAR, PJs, CCTs. And feeding all of it, often invisibly, ISA, CIA Ground Branch, and the units that will never appear on any official list. What's remarkable is not any single unit, it's how all of them work together as a layered, integrated machine, with each component doing what it does better than any other force on Earth. America's Special Operations Forces are the most capable, most battle-tested, and most diverse elite military enterprise in human history. And we've barely scratched the surface. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Which unit do you think is the most elite, Delta Force or DEVGRU? I'll be reading every reply. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. We break down military history, strategy, and special operations every single week. And next video, we're going somewhere dark. Every failed U.S. Special Operations mission and what went wrong. I'll see you there.